itty bitty name jar to make sure that we all are participating. So Miss Williams read a book recently, and I was trying to remember what the book was about, but I couldn't remember. All I could remember that there was this really cool spot in this book where these two kids, they were going on an adventure, and so they were riding in the back of a U-Haul. Does anyone know what a U-Haul is? Have you ever seen that before? No. Ever seen that before? Ainsley, do you know what that is?
It's kind of like the type of wagon.
Kind of. Have you ever seen them? They're on the back of a vehicle, and it's what people use to move. It's kind of like a truck sometimes, but it's on the back of a vehicle or a van, and it's what people use to move their stuff. Well, these kids didn't want to ride in the car with their parents, so they're in the U-Haul, and they're having fun, and the latch of the U-Haul door breaks, and the door swings open. And these kids are holding on really tight, and they're trying not to fall out of this vehicle. And it was such an exciting part of the book, and I can't remember what the book was called. So I told my husband Garrett, I was telling him about it. My husband's name's Garrett, and I was trying to explain to him, and I said, you know, these kids, they were going on a ride with their parents, and they were trying not to fall out, and it was really exciting, and he just kind of looked at me like, what are you talking about? Now, what was different from what I told you all and what I told him? If I just told him that they were going on a ride with their parents and they were trying not to fall out, what was different? Tristan?
You said to him, you said they were trying not to fall out, and that's what to do.
Oh, so in his mind, was he visualizing this U-Haul? He wasn't, was he, Paxton?
Yes. He thought it was the main idea of it. But he told me the idea when you told him.
Right. So in his mind, what do you typically think of when I say you're going to go on a ride with your parents? What do you think these kids, what did you think he thought these kids were riding in?
A car.
A car, right? I left out that whole part, that whole main idea that they were in a U-Haul. And so he was just so confused. So that got me to thinking, what is the main idea? What is that main idea? Now, have any of you, think for just a second, have any of you ever had like a favorite outfit? A favorite sweater, a favorite dress, and you see a string that's loose? Miss Williams bought a dress back in May. It's her favorite dress ever. And there was a string that was loose, and I started to pull.
Oh, I know it's going to happen.
What do you think happened, Yoseli?
It made a hole.
Bigger than a hole. Bigger than a hole. Joshua? I just kept pulling on that string. Made a bigger hole, but bigger than that. What happened?
It got tight.
Actually, it fell apart. Pulling that one thread made the whole dress fall apart. So kind of like my story with Garrett, leaving out that main idea about the U-Haul made the whole story fall apart, right? So in your own words, think for just a second, what is the main idea of a story? Let me give you a second to think. What do you think the main idea of a story is? Secret signal when you know. When you think you know. The main idea. Main idea. Lance, where are you at, Lance? Do you know what the main idea of a story could be? Think about it for just a second, okay? I'm going to come back to you, all right? Keep thinking. The main idea, Bray. What do you think the main idea of a story could be? Tell me what that means. Okay, it could be what happens. Add to that, Joshua.
It's what it's all about.
Okay, it's what it's all about. So it's what happens, it's what it's all about. Add to that, Ainsley.
It's the main part of the book.
The main part of the book. Lance, do you think you have an idea now?
I just forgot it.
You just forgot. Keep thinking, okay? So I like what you all are thinking here, but it's even bigger. even bigger than just an important or just an event or what happens in the book. It's bigger than what it's all about. It's kind of there. You're kind of on the right track. What did you say, Ainsley? Can you remind me?
The main part of the book.
The main part of the book. So, a dream, add to that.
It's like the part that interests you.
The part that interests you. Okay, so I need to write some of these down, don't I? So Miss Williams is going to come over here and write some of these down kind of in your way. All right, so it's what interests you, right? And that's a dream. And Ainsley said main, sorry, that's a funny looking M. Main part. And what did you say, Bray?
It's an important part of the book.
Oh, did you all hear that? Say it again, Bray.
Important part of the book.
It is the important part of the book, the main idea. It is the so what. Can you all do that? So what?
So what?
When you read a book and you think, so what is this about? It is the most important part of the book. Love it. Love it. The most important part. And that was Bray. And Joshua, you said what it's all about, right? Okay, what it's all about. Think back to the dress when Miss Williams pulled that string and the whole thing fell apart. When you take out that main idea, the whole story falls apart.
I get it. It breaks apart.
It breaks apart, it falls apart. The story without that main idea
breaks apart without the main idea.
breaks apart without the main idea. Okay, so why is Secret Signal When You Know? Why is the main idea important? Why is the main idea important? Yoseli, why is it important?
It's important because you want the story to keep on going.
Okay, so without the main idea, the story doesn't keep going. What did you say before that? What happens without the main idea? What happens to the story?
It breaks apart.
It breaks apart, right? So the story breaks apart.